Welcome to the class Supply Chain Management. Another important concept in supply chain is the drivers of supply chain. Before we start the function, we will see what are all the different drivers and what are all the functions of drivers. Driver is nothing but it causes someone or something to move by driving. There are drivers of supply chain which is starting from facilities, inventory, transportation, information, sourcing and pricing. Supply chain generally ranges from the spectrum of efficiency to the responsiveness. So in order to achieve the efficiency and responsiveness spectrum of supply chain, there are various drivers are used in supply chain management. These drivers are generally used to classify as logistic as well as the cross-functional. To understand how a company can improve the supply chain performance in terms of responsiveness and efficiency, we must examine both logistic and cross-functional drivers of supply chain. So this picture shows the drivers of a supply chain performance spectrum can be in a range of efficiency to the responsiveness is classified as logistical driver and cross-functional driver. In logistical driver, there are three drivers comes under this: facilities, inventories, transportation. And similar way in cross-functional driver, it is classified as information, sourcing and pricing. In this picture, information is the central of all the remaining drivers. Why information is the central of all the driver is, in case of production, we need information like what to produce, how to produce and when to produce. And in the case of inventory, we need information how much we have to make and how much stock we have to maintain. In similar way, in the case of location drivers, we have the information where the best locality or where the best facility is available for production. In transportation driver, we need information how and when to move the product or how and when to shipping the product. So every supply chain need to ensure that supplier are reliable and the storage are reliable for the customer demand. So this is the entire framework for supply chain driver. So it is classified as a logical driver and cross-functional driver. And the supply chain spectrum or ranges from efficiency to the responsiveness. So in order to achieve the competitive strategy and the business strategy of a supply chain, this driver is very much important. The first and foremost driver is the facility. So this facility deals with what type of infrastructures you are building with respect to the factory, with respect to the warehouse, retailer, distributor, role, size, location, etc. This is very much important area of supply chain where we have to take into consideration in order to achieve the efficiency of the supply chain. So one of the best example of facility driver is, we can say, a Flipkart. So Flipkart is having a very good facility for making a product production, and it is maintaining a very good size, and it is maintaining a very good distribution and warehousing everything. Second important drivers in the supply chain is inventory. So inventory encompasses all the raw materials work in process, and the finished goods within a supply chain. Inventory is the products, materials, or a raw ingredients that a company needs to keep and to fulfill its minimum production quotas. So the inventory is classified into cycle inventory and safety inventory. So the cycle inventory is nothing but it is the amount of inventory available to meet the typical demand during a given period, which helps a company to meet the normal demand of the product. And next comes to safety inventory, which is nothing but it is an extra buffer stock to meet excess demand to protect against delayed shipment from the supplier or guard against unforeseen problems such as natural disaster. So safety stock is typically used when the actual demands exceeds the sales forecast or if production output is lesser than the planned product. So one of the best example for maintaining a very good inventory is a big basket. So big basket is maintaining inventory of how much to make, how much to stock, and it is maintaining a very good forecasting. And the third foremost important driver in supply chain is transportation. So transportation is we must deal with how to shipping the product from the supplier side to the customer side, because logistics is also very much important in case of transportation. So what are all the different factors affecting the transportation is one is carrier and another one is shipper. In case of carrier, a party that moves or transport the product which is related with vehicle related cost, fixed operating cost and a trip related cost. Similarly, shipper is nothing but a party that requires the movement of the product between 2 points in the supply chain, which involves transportation cost, inventory cost and facility cost. There are various modes of transportations are used in supply chain management: airways, truck, rail, ship, pipeline, electronic transportation, which may vary in cost, speed and size of the shipment. So whichever is flexible for the particular production, so that particular transportation driver may be chosen based on the criteria of route and the network selection. So the route is nothing but a path along with the product is shipped. Network is nothing but a collection of locations and routines. So these are the various modes of transportation used. And the fourth foremost supply chain driver is the information. So information infrastructure is very much important, which helps to achieve efficiency or responsiveness. The way the customer wants, you can immediately provide the information with the lower cost. So the information is very much important. So this information driver is connected with all the remaining drivers. So information provides supply chain visibility, allowing managers to make decisions to improve the supply chain performance. So example of the maintaining a very good information is shopper's stop. So next important information, after information we can go for a supply chain driver is sourcing. So this is another important driver which may be very much useful in maintaining a very good responsiveness as well as the efficiency in the case of supply chain management. So a company may be a good in manufacturing or may be a good in distribution. Any company may not good in all the activities. So suppose if I am good in manufacturing and I am good in distribution, so I can go for another activities with the help of different types of parties. So where the sourcing comes. So this type of sourcing is nothing but a third party logistic. So this third party logistic is differentiated into in-house sourcing and out-house sourcing. So next is the important and very foremost supply chain driver is of pricing. So pricing determines how much a firm will charge for a particular goods and services that it makes available in the supply chain. So this pricing behavior affects the buyer of the goods or services of the customer that affect the supply chain performance. For example, if you go for a transportation company, it varies its charges based on the lead time provided by the customer. It's very likely that customer who value efficiency will order early, and customer who value responsiveness will be willing to wait and order just before they need a product transported. So there are various components of pricing decision. So pricing decision may be varied based upon the demands of the customer. For example, fixed price or menu pricing, or the pricing may be a lower price in a week time and a higher price in a weekend. So likewise, the organization can fix the pricing in order to achieve the efficiency and the responsiveness of the supply chain. So this is an example of the pricing where the Big Bazaar is maintaining a very good value to the customer and also earning profits to the company. Thank you.